The episode opens with a woman leaving a nightclub, dancing happily as she takes a call from her sister, who's checking in about her kids. She tells her sister she's on her way home. In the parking lot, she passes a distracted security guard who's too busy watching a game to notice her. As she approaches her car parked next to a van, she suddenly vanishes. A week has passed since the serial kidnapper, now known as the Game Maker, made contact with Morgan. Worried for her family's safety, Morgan and Ludo have kept their kids home, with a police stationed outside for protection. One day, Morgan finds a flyer for a security company in her mailbox, but it's addressed to another house in her neighborhood. Curious, she walks over to the address and hears a Lion King jungle-themed song blasting from inside the house. Instantly, she connects it to the last game card she received, which also had a jungle theme. Morgan realizes the Game Maker might be back. Back at the LAPD, she explains that it's highly unlikely for the U.S. Postal Service to misdeliver mail, suggesting this was intentional, not accidental. When they trace the name on the address, Maya Price, they discover her sister is at the precinct at that very moment, filing a missing persons report. During questioning, Maya's sister reveals she was babysitting Maya's son, Max, while Maya went out for a night with her work friends. When Maya never returned, she went to her apartment and found the door open. She tells the detectives that Maya's ex-husband, Derek, is a good man but struggles with bad habits, and the two were set to appear in court soon for a custody hearing. When Morgan shows her the Game Maker sketch, she insists she's never seen him before. Morgan and Karadek head to the nightclub, Maya's last known location. The doorman recalls seeing Maya leave alone around 9:30 p.m. With no clear direction on where she went next, Morgan theorizes she might have been taken from the parking lot nearby, since it's close to the club and she wouldn't have been circling for parking. Karadek doubts it, saying it's too open for a kidnapping. But Morgan points out the broken streetlights, which created perfect darkness for someone to hide. On the ground, she spots a broken heel cap, likely from Maya's shoe. Reconstructing the scene, Morgan deduces that Maya was attacked there. She fought back with her purse, which explains the scattered lip balm, candies, and broken glass from a perfume bottle. She likely tried to run, but the attacker caught up, dragged her, and stuffed her into the trunk of a car. Morgan notices two sets of heel marks that suddenly turn into one, meaning Maya lost a shoe during the struggle. They later identified the exact shoe design from photos taken earlier. Welcome back to Sandy's Timeline. Today, we're diving into High Potential Season 2, Episode 1. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you enjoy these recaps. Let's get into it. The next stop is Maya's house, where the team begins a thorough search. They quickly notice a few strange details. The door locks appear to have been recently changed, likely within the last month, and the gun Maya reportedly purchased is missing. As Morgan scans the room, she spots several designer brand packaging and receipts, odd considering Maya had been struggling financially. Yet none of those luxury items are in the house. Morgan immediately theorizes that Maya must have pawned them, and she knows exactly where. She recalls seeing a toy electric piano with a sticky patch shaped like a dog bone, a signature mark of the Boneyard pawn shop. When the team visits the pawn shop, the clerk confirms that Maya had been there just days before she disappeared, and that she was seen arguing with a man before leaving. Reviewing the security footage, they identify the man as her ex-husband, Derek, instantly making him their prime suspect. During questioning, Derek admits he confronted Maya because she had been ignoring his calls and was receiving expensive gifts from someone else, which made him jealous. However, he insists that despite their issues, he would never hurt her. They question the colleague that was last seen with Maya, and she informs them that it was obvious that Maya was having a hard time with the whole custody battle and the financial struggle of hiring a lawyer, so she just needed a day to herself to unwind. And she also informs them that the gifts were from their boss, Jason Howard, and explains that the only reason he would actually show up at the office was to see Maya, and he was the one who gave them the tickets to club. And she expresses that Maya felt weird about his boss's generosity, and they quickly learn that Jason has been charged with a dozen sexual harassment complaints over the last 5 years, and he might be bribing people, who are mostly women, to keep them quiet. Morgan gathers all the clues and lays them out for the team. She theorizes that Jason Howard might be more deeply connected to the case than they initially thought. Not only is Jason diabetic, just like Spencer, meaning he'd know exactly how long someone could survive without insulin, but he's also a painter, and his artwork bears an uncanny resemblance to the pieces found in the gallery where they rescued Sierra. On top of that, Jason is a certified scuba instructor, a detail that feels far too specific to be coincidence. Morgan begins to suspect that the entire setup might be another one of the game maker's manipulations, a twisted diversion meant to keep them busy with Jason while the real game unfolds elsewhere. However, despite her instincts, the rest of the team struggles to buy into her theory, unsure whether Jason is truly involved or just another pawn in the game maker's elaborate puzzle. At the party held by Jason, where Morgan and Koretic look for leads, Morgan briefly locks eyes with the game maker before losing him in the crowd masked party scene. And on the other hand, Koretic spots Maya inside the pool, and they place Jason under arrest for the kidnapping of Maya. And after a long night of interrogating him, Jason gets him lawyer and refuses to talk anymore. Elsewhere, they get a lead on the whereabouts of Maya's car, and inside, they find the missing dagger from Jason's room and a bloody jacket implicating Jason Moore. Suddenly, Morgan has a revelation. When Jason was arrested, Derek was already at the station, yet no one from the LAPD had called him in. He was simply there, waiting. That realization sparks a question that chills the room. If no one from the precinct contacted him, then who did? Morgan pieces it together. The game maker must have tipped Derek off. She reasons that he's been pulling the strings from the very beginning. He's likely the one who sent Maya the mysterious flyer, the same one that drew Morgan's attention, and he probably changed her locks himself, giving him a key to her house. That would explain how he was able to steal Jason's credit card, making it appear as though Jason had been sending Maya lavish gifts. By planting Maya's bracelet in Jason's pool and stealing one of Jason's daggers from his private collection, the game maker carefully staged a trail of evidence pointing straight at Jason. Morgan theorizes that the gifts might even symbolize the founders who were each killed by gunfire, tying the game's theme to his past crimes. And then it all clicks. Maya's missing weapon wasn't purchased by her at all. It was the game maker who bought it, setting the stage for Derek to find out and take matters into his own hands. The chilling conclusion? The game maker doesn't just want Jason dead, he wants Derek to be the one who kills him. Later on, he walks into the precinct and says to Morgan and Lieutenant Soto, "Apparently, you're looking for me." And that's where this intense episode leaves us, with the game maker finally stepping out of the shadows. What's his next move? And how far will he go this time? We'll find out soon enough. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Sandy's Timeline for more deep dives and weekly breakdowns of High Potential Season 2. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next episode. Things are just getting started.